Ethiopian government has announced the decision to shift the country's fixed exchange rate system to a market-based or floating exchange rate system with immediate effect. And as a result of this, the Ethiopian birr currency fell down 30% against the US dollar, which means 74.73 birr per $1 after the restrictions were lifted. Previously, the currency was trading at 57.48 to $1 until Friday, July 26th. The Office of the Prime Minister revealed the change in a foreign exchange reform policy today. It also touched many other policy reforms, including the introduction of an interest-based monetary framework and government debt management reforms. National Bank of Ethiopia has also given 14 key elements of Ethiopia's foreign exchange reforms. It's being said that the foreign exchange reforms being announced today involve significant new policy changes in the following areas. 1. A shift to a market-based or floating exchange system, whereby banks are henceforth allowed to buy and sell foreign currencies from their clients and among themselves at freely negotiated rates, and with the National Bank of Ethiopia making only limited interventions to support the market in its early days. 2. The end of surrender requirements to the National Bank, and allowing foreign exchange to be retained by exporters and commercial banks and thus substantially boosting foreign exchange supplies to the private sector. 3. The removal of import restrictions that previously prohibited 38 product categories and the broader liberalization of the foreign exchange market for the imports of goods and services, while capital account outflows remain restricted as before. 4. The improvement of retention rules and allowing exporters to retain 50% of their foreign exchange proceeds versus 40% previously. 5. The complete removal of rules governing banks' allocation of foreign exchange that was based on a waiting list system for different categories of imports. 6. The introduction of non-bank foreign exchange bureaus that are henceforth free to engage in the buying and selling of foreign currency cash notes at market rates. 7. The removal of restrictions on Franco-valuta imports to be implemented shortly through an upcoming regulation. 8. The simplification of rules governing foreign currency accounts, especially those currently held by foreign institutions, FDI companies, and the diaspora. 9. The allowance for residents to open foreign currency accounts based on remittance inflows, transfers from abroad, foreign exchange-based salary or rental income, and for other specified cases, as well as the ability to use such foreign currency accounts for foreign service payments. 10. The removal of interest rate ceilings that previously applied to private sector companies or banks when borrowing from abroad. 11. The opening of Ethiopia's securities market to foreign investors with the terms and conditions to be specified further in the near future. 12. The granting of special foreign exchange privileges to companies within special economic zones, including the ability to retain 100% of their foreign exchange earnings. 13. The relaxation of various rules on the amount of foreign currency cash notes travelers may carry when traveling into or out of Ethiopia. And the reason why foreign exchange reform is needed is explained by NBE. They said the reform in the exchange rate system being introduced today is challenging in several respects but at the same time critically necessary. The prevailing foreign exchange rate system resulted in the emergence of an unanchored parallel market exchange rate together with high inflation. Therefore, all of this has improperly benefited a few illegal actors and middlemen at the expense of Ethiopia's productive sectors, which face chronic and acute foreign exchange shortages, as the official statement explains. Economic benefits of the reform were also given by the National Bank, and they are listed as following. First, according to the National Bank, the foreign exchange reform will benefit millions of Ethiopians in multiple FX-generating sectors. Second, the reform will help ensure that Ethiopia's foreign earnings potential is properly captured and repatriated for the benefit of its residents and productive sectors. Third, the reform will provide a major boost to Ethiopia's growing import substituting industries, offering industries in this space an opportunity to scale up their operations and capture significant market share. Fourth, the reform will complement numerous other reform measures taken in recent years to promote the private sector. Fifth, the reform will improve Ethiopia's attractiveness to foreign investors, explains the NBE. And finally, sixth, the foreign exchange reform will help address many long-standing business practices that encouraged informality and illegality in the economy, according to the National Bank. The government has also said to make the following three preparations to ensure the benefits of the reform. First, according to the National Bank, the government has decided to temporarily subsidize certain essential imports in this respect. Through the use of temporary subsidies and a gradual pass-through of prices, the government has decided to minimize the full price impacts on essential import items such as fuel, fertilizers, medicine, and edible oil. Second, financial support is also going to be enhanced for those whose real incomes have been eroded due to high inflation in recent years. To help address past and anticipated inflation impacts, government intends to supplement civil servant salaries in a manner that can be financed by available resources and without significantly worsening the budget deficit. Third, a debt service relief is also being secured by government to preserve budgetary allocations for social and capital spending and to ensure that the higher local currency cost of external debt service does not crowd out other expenditure. Finally, by arranging for such debt relief in advance, the government will substantially reduce its near-term external debt service obligations and instead increase its developmental expenditures both for this and subsequent fiscal years, says the official statement of the National Bank of Ethiopia.